Ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very, very serious. Ladies and gentlemen, sources tell me that President Trump, these are sources that have been vetted by NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNN. These are sources. I'm obviously joking. This is obvious satire. So, relax. Democrats, relax. But sources tell me, ladies and gentlemen, that President Trump, these are sources. We have nothing but the words of anonymous sources. He's going to launch every citizen into space, into orbit, from spacecrafts designed by Space Force. America's Space Force is being used against its own citizens. I knew Trump was capable of anything, but I never thought he would be launching people into space. Have you ever wondered why he wanted Space Force? It was to launch every man and woman into space. These are sources, ladies and gentlemen. This is an ongoing and developing story, ladies and gentlemen. These sources are sources that are very important sources. I just don't know if we can have Trump for 4 more years. I mean, we won't even be here anymore. We'll be orbiting space because he will have sent us all into orbit. He wants to rule this country just like a despot. And he's well on his way. Thanks, Trump supporters. Making America non-existent because everyone's going to be launched into space again. I blame the people who voted for Trump for this. This is a developing story. Sources say, sources have said. Believe it. Believe me now. Hear me later. Say that this is all wrong. Defense official says media reports about November intel assessments are false. So we'll get right into it. To my super chat, thank you so very much. If you support my voice, ladies and gentlemen, during this tough time, I know that there are so many other things you could spend your money on, but to support my voice, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much if you choose to. The sources that said, first of all, if the intelligence community had anything pertaining to Trump and mismanagement, they would have leaked the information to Democrats. The wonderful intelligence community hasn't been right for the past 100 years. You could even say that, the sinking of the USS Maine in 1898, that was an intelligence failure also. We can look back. USS Maine. Even that was an intelligence failure. So, really unbelievable. And of course, we blamed Spain for it. Okay. But many historians today believe a malfunction in the ship caused the sinking. Okay, so there you go. We can look back and you can just from the sinking of the USS Maine to the Gulf of Tonkin to the Bay of Pigs, the Gulf of Tonkin, to it's so interesting how Democrats always look to experts that just happen to always, if there's an expert opinion saying something contrary to what Democrats believe, well then you know what, it's we can't have that. But they say that President Trump knew They say that President Trump knew in November. Okay, first of all, they were impeaching him. Second of all, the House Intel Committee is run by Adam Schiff. You mean to tell me the House Intel Committee chairman didn't know? So the intelligence community didn't let Adam Schiff know? Does that make any sense at all? Does that make any sense at all? So, it makes no sense at all. And number one. Number two, it wasn't, the intelligence community didn't know because the information from China wasn't even there for the intelligence community to know anything. Flying fox fruits! I dare you to research the word. Okay. I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't know if I'm reading it correctly, but I will. I don't know if I'll research it right now, but I definitely will look that up. Flying fox fruits, flying fox fruits. Thank you. It's really interesting that you have reports now. If you could look it up. Sources said, U.S. Intel warned of threat in November report. Report in November adding concerns Trump acted too late across the... Sources said. ABC News. One of the sources told ABC News. U.S. intelligence warned in November. One of the sources told the network. Sources said, one of the sources told, one of the sources warned. Who are these wonderful sources, and why are they always wrong? Almost always wrong about Trump. Almost always wrong about a major issue to do with Trump. Tammy Eaton! What did Nancy know and when did she know it? Isn't she a member of the... Yes? Group of four Democrats who get intel briefings? Absolutely. Absolutely. Flying Fox Fruits! I triple... Madam Secretary, dare you to watch a vid on... Okay. Flying Fox Fruits, Flying Fox Fruits, Flying Fox Fruits. Tammy Eaton, you're 100% right. And Tammy, not only that, why didn't Adam Schiff, who's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee... He's the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Why didn't he know? That's a great point. Tammy Eaton, great point. Hidden for time! As the surreal journalist of record, your ability to see the future is 1,000% clairvoyant. Bring on Hildebeest. Hidden for time, thank you so very much. You know, Hidden for Time, you've given me one of the greatest, I believe it was you, Hidden for Time, who called me like something similar to Salvador Dali. And I just want to thank you. Hidden for Time, thank you. It is going to be so glorious when Madam Secretary, who knows how it happens, Hidden for Time, I slid into second, coach. Hey, come on. It wouldn't go like that. It'd be like, hey, come on, smell your brother. Come on now. We're sliding into second. You know the deal. You know the deal. Sliding into second. Jam my knee. Yeah, put some lotion on it. It didn't work out. Are you sure? Is your knee okay? I jammed my knee. Well, what are we going to do? I think we have somebody called Rodham. Let's bring Rodham up. Who knows how it's going to happen? Valerie Rogers! Are we under quasi-martial law? If you live in a blue state. Not the 9 states that are Republican. Valerie, thank you as always, Valerie. Fly Fox Roots! Hello, Planea is a synonym for... Yes, I just looked it up. Jaboticaba. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need Jaboticaba, look into Flying Fox Fruits. He's awesome. Yeah, it looks nutritious and awesome. Flying Fox Fruits. This message was brought to you by Plenia and Chapo. Awesome. So Hidden for Time, thank you very much. Very much. Flying Fox Fruits, thank you. Tammy, sources is fake. We pulled this out of our... Ladies and gentlemen, Tammy is right. And Hidden for Time, thank you so very much. It's going to be amazing. We're just waiting now. It could be sooner rather than later. Who knows? With Bernie out of the way. But here, defense officials say media reports about November intel assessments are false. Oopsie. False. A defense official on Wednesday issued a rare denial of reports by ABC News. You got just Dikembe Mutombo. No. And others that claim the November intelligence assessment warned about rapidly spreading opposed the threat to American. The official said no such assessment existed. Oopsie. Gee, maybe we shouldn't trust these wonderful anonymous sources that constantly just are always wrong. Why are they always wrong? Why are these anonymous sources always wrong? First of all, Andrew Cuomo, he's the one who in March 1st, Andrew Cuomo, no reason for undue anxiety. No reason for undue anxiety. Wow. No reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. Wow. Unbelievable. The general risk remains low in New York. Have you ever heard something so absurd? March 1st. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. There is no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. This is March 1st. March 1st, the governor of New York, the epicenter of all of this. March 1st. Kurt Leonard! Eating old back, then Bubba Bill. Wow, Kurt Leonard. Yeah, Kurt. I just want to say I've been tested. And I have pretty much everything else but this. I have pretty much everything that's ever existed but this. So count me as one of the fortunate people. Kurt Leonard, thank you so much. Nice. Kurt Leonard, nice. So this was... The officials said no such assessment existed. Colonel R. Shane Day, the director one of the directors of the Defense Intelligence Agency, that, by the way, Michael Flynn was the chief of under President Obama, refuted the ABC News report in a statement. Quote, as a matter of practice, the National Center for Medical Intelligence does not comment publicly on specific matters, intelligent matters. However, in the interest of transparency during this current public health crisis, we can confirm that media reports about the existence, release of the National Center for the Medical Intelligence related product assessment in November of 2019 is not correct. No such report or product exists. No such NCMI, National Center for Medical Intelligence product exists. Not only does it not say, well, the report said something different, they said that there is no report. There's no report. No report. No report. No report. Absolutely no report. So there you go. There's no report. And instead of simply acknowledging that everything was just complete fabrication as always, instead of simply acknowledging this, what happens? They don't bring up anything. They just say, well, we stand by our reporting. It's like you stand by what? This is not investigative reporting. Journalism is no longer in existence in the United States. There is no more journalism. There's no more reporting. Everybody is just commenting. It's just fine. Just be honest. Say you are you're writing a column or you have a YouTube channel and that's the type of journalism that people engage in. By the way, did you know Curt Schilling called the election? Pretty amazing. He called the election. Almost. Curt Schilling was awesome, Hall of Famer. But he called the election 322 to 216. It was almost exactly what happened. He goes, math, any state he's under 4.9 or leading, I think he wins. Here's my electoral map. Pennsylvania, 53%. And she's ending coal. Wow. So Curt Schilling did a great job. He called President Trump winning. So that's pretty good. But there's no report. There's not even a report that exists. So you look, President Trump received the information. The Pentagon said there was intelligence in January that could, but it was not a serious warning. So it's like, you know what? He called a public health emergency in January. Andrew Cuomo waited until mid-March, and at the beginning of March, he said there was no. What was it? Here, we can read it again. There is no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. So, if the general risk remains low in New York, you have to ask yourself, okay, a big part of this is mismanagement by Democrats. Look at the cases. Look at the states with the top cases. New York Times. Okay. Look at the cases. Updated April 9th. You can look at their wonderful map. The Northeast is the epicenter of this. The Northeast is run by Democrats. Gee, I wonder why. It's the epicenter. Texas has 10 million more people. It's right there. The New York Times see, it's all Trump's fault. It's like, no. You're looking at New York, New Jersey, Michigan, California, Massachusetts has a Republican governor. Florida has a Republican governor. Let's see. Hold on one second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Texas just got in the top 10. But Texas has 10 million more people than New York. And New York has 100,000 more cases. So let's see. Hold on one second. So governor of Pennsylvania. He's a Democrat, I believe. So governor of Pennsylvania. Okay, so Tom Wolf, Democratic Party. Okay. So, Pennsylvania, these are all majority blue states anyway. Louisiana has a Democratic governor, so New York has 159,937 cases. Has more cases than the top than what? Let's see, 70. Then the next 4 or 5 or 6 combined. Okay? You take away New York, we don't lead the world. But it's interesting how the bottom, like Alaska, Wyoming, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota, West Virginia, these are all Republican states. Their cases just like 30, 239, 269 cases compared to 159,000 cases. Arizona's way down the list. South Carolina's way down the list. Kentucky's way down the list. Okay? Yeah, obviously, this has to do with the fact that New York is people are living on top of each other, and it's people are living in close proximity with one another all the time. But you look at the map. When they say, well, we were unprepared. No, there are 50 states. Most are doing very well. Most are doing well. When you look at the overall population, most are doing well. If you look at the states with the most problems, these are Democratic-run states. New York, New Jersey, Michigan, California. Then you have Massachusetts, but that votes blue all the time. They have a Republican governor. Pennsylvania, Democrat. Louisiana, Democratic governor. Florida, and then Illinois. Then you have Texas as 10th, but they weren't even in the top 10. But they have 10 million more people. So why is it that 7 of the top 10 are Democrats? Or are run by Democratic governors? These are blue states, generally blue states. They say, well, this is not political. No, but if you want to make it political, we can. I wouldn't think this way if they didn't blame Trump for everything that ever existed in the universe. Every single... Okay, when they say, well, Trump he's not the governor of New York, New Jersey, Michigan, or California. So he has 50 states to worry about. These governors were completely caught off guard. Completely and utterly caught off guard. And because they were caught off guard and they lead the country in cases, it's like they lead the country in cases and, it's like they're the ones... and here you have, Maryland is... So they're run by Democrats also, but they're down in the list. They're down. They're not in the top 10. All the red states are at the bottom of the list here of the 50 states. The top are New York, New Jersey, Michigan, California. The bottom, Alaska, Wyoming, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota, West Virginia, Nebraska, Kansas, Arkansas, and you have a couple Democratic states towards the bottom, but if the Democrats want to make this a political thing, then it's actually worse for them. Just look at the map that they have. Everything veers towards the Northeast. Everything veers towards the Northeast. And you're looking at Democrats dropping the ball on this. Democrats dropping the ball. So it's the Democratic Party, they talk a big game. Like, oh, yeah, oh, my God. Oh, my God, you even have this. Oh, my God. You have this map is so detailed, you can find out what's doubling. 105 cases, doubling every 6 days in different parts, doubling every 3.5 days. Did they do this when President Obama had his own pandemic? They didn't do this. No, they didn't. And these doubling and the chart, that's with every flu season, every pandemic, every flu season. There's a chart that looks just like this chart. Granted, this is more serious, obviously, than the average flu. The point is the sensationalized coverage. It's not Trump's fault. If anything, it's the Democratic governors of the top states with the most suffering from this who completely dropped the ball. There's a reason it is in Arkansas and Mississippi and Alabama at the top 3 or 4, or Arizona. New York, New Jersey, Michigan, California. 1, 2, 3, top 4. Then you have Massachusetts, which always votes blue in presidential elections. But anyway, they have I'm just going by governors. They have a Republican governor. Pennsylvania, Louisiana, Democratic governors. Florida has a Republican governor. But you look at Florida, they have 16,819 cases compared to 159,000 cases. Okay? Population of Florida. Let's look at the population of Florida. Because I know Texas has 10 million more people. Population of Florida. Okay, the same population, 21 million, a little bit over New York State. New York has 20 million people, so Florida has the same population. So, I mean, you have a situation where there are states that are hurting more than others. Those states are run by Democrats. Why were those Democrats so unprepared? Andrew Cuomo was suing President Trump or the federal government because of travel restrictions. So don't say that, oh, yeah, Trump was so caught off guard. Oh, my God. It's like, look at how Democrats reacted to this. So he was not given information. Look, the anonymous sources, they're always wrong when it comes to Trump. Always wrong, always wrong. They're always wrong. And furthermore, it's like, just look at this map. Go to the New York Times. You look at the map. It's all clustered in the Northeast. Giant circles around New York and New Jersey. And parts of Pennsylvania. Giant circles. So, it's pretty unbelievable. You have a situation, people, where you have a situation where they're blaming President Trump for their own problems. And sure, it's a national crisis, but it's a crisis that hits certain regions that are run by Democrats. And not just that, Schumer, de Blasio, Andrew Cuomo, 3 of the most high-profile Democrats in the country, one of which ran for president. So, it is now mandatory as of tomorrow to wear a mask going into supermarkets in California. And it's like, or in Los Angeles. I'm not sure of all of California. But it's like, why couldn't you have people who were healthy just wear masks to work and, I guess be able to still function as a society? Why did we have to tank the entire economy if the most vulnerable are people above, 80% of the people who've lost their lives are 65 and older? So let's see, 80% of COVID. 80% of people who've lost their lives are 65 and older. You couldn't have simply told everyone 65 or 60 and older to take care, stay home, self-quarantine, and everyone under that age, if you have some kind of issue, be very, very cautious, but you don't tank the entire economy. The entire economy. To where you have millions upon millions. How many unemployed people are there now unemployed? Another 6.6 million people filed for unemployment last week. And then you get well, we're going to give them, and then the Democrats are, we're going to give them more money. It's like, you forced people, and it wasn't they're hilarious. They're like, oh, the Republicans, 16.8 million people. Wow. 16.8 million Americans. 11% of the U.S. labor force. 11% of the U.S. labor force. This is unbelievable. This is really unbelievable. You don't give the keys to the economy to people who make projections that end up, you know what, the projections. It's just, we're going to learn a lot from this. And we'll see, yet again, the same petulance. You'll see the same petulance. The same petulance, the same malice. It's like, it's just unbelievable. 16.8 million people. How many of those people now have issues pertaining to health because they got laid off? It's really unbelievable. Loud Bud! State uses we the people as cannon fodder. Trump's forever. Yes! Lyle Bud, thank you. Thank you. Lyle Bud, thank you. It is pretty unbelievable. It's pretty unbelievable when you have these wonderful experts, these just tanking the economy. You get the same number. I'm not even going to get into it. 16.8 million people. Really unbelievable. The country has suffered more as a whole from 16.8 million people This is really unbelievable. $16.8 million people unemployed. $16.8 million people unemployed. And most of the most of this could have just most of this could have been prevented or at least addressed by the governors of blue states. There is no reason for undue anxiety. It's just unbelievable. Really unbelievable. You just look at all of this and you say, my God, like, how are 16.8 million people? How are 16.8 million people going to get back their livelihoods, their jobs? How are they going to get back? You know, do they have money now for medication? Do they have money for medication? It's really unbelievable. 16.8 million people. And then you had people who literally risked their health in you get people who risk their health standing in lines, getting pelted by 2-inch thick hail in the rain to vote against Bernie Sanders. Like, the Democrats were serious about getting Bernie out of the way. Serious. It's kind of pathetic, but also like, this is what happens when you're a social media creation. Bernie Sanders became a social media creation. Then they're like, oh, well, he changed the topic of conversation. Yeah, now Democrats are less likely than ever to look at Medicare. They'll never get it. He should have joined the Green Party. People who oh, Mr. Super, okay. Chris Webb! Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris Webb. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Chris Webb. Good job. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I just don't get it. Like, we had record low unemployment, and then you go from that to 16 million people unemployed. Then the Democrat, oh, well, you know what? We're going to give you a lot of money. It's like, no amount of money from the government could take the place of a steady income. Now, how many people aren't going to be able to even afford the whole thing with the left is like, you know what? People can't afford a living wage. You just took their wages away, Democrats. And don't say, I won't even get into it. It's definitely politics. You better believe the country would not have shut down if Clinton were president. There's no way. There's no way. Looking at the way the Democratic Party runs, with two people who were forced to resign in disgrace, along with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who were fomenting violence at Trump rallies. Remember that? Even CNN covered it. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. Warren, that's a good point. Bernie lost 30 points in his home state between 2016 and 2020. Wow. Chris Webb, thank you again. Chris Webb, thank you. We'll look back and this is just very bizarre. And this, in March, there's no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. And New York leads the country in all of this. They're like, well, you know what? Had to. Well, then, you know what? Shut down all the bars and bring back the 18th Amendment, prohibition, because, you'd save lives by making sure that people don't drink and drive. So just make alcohol illegal. You'll save lives. You can justify anything by saying, oh, we're saving lives. You can justify anything. You can justify absolutely anything. And that's the last phrase Democrats should have acquired. That is the last thing, the worst thing for society that could have ever happened is giving Democrats and media talking points relating to the welfare of people's health. That's the worst thing, because they're going to take it and they're going to ignore everything they do wrong and then make things up. What should have taken place, ladies and gentlemen, is just look at the map. Look at the map. Look at the map. Jimbo! Webby, UC Australia. UC Australia shut down HA. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Jimbo, thank you so very much. Jimbo, it's unbelievable. The entire world is... I think that the problem here is that you need to look at your state, your country, your city, your state, and your country. Okay? Los Angeles is not New York. So we don't have to adopt the policies that New York is adopting. Los Angeles is not New York. It's more spread out. It's different. And, I won't even get into it. There is no reason for undue anxiety. The general risk remains low in New York. $16.8 million people. 16.8 million people. $16.8 million people lost their jobs. And they're still trying to blame everything on President Trump when we have 50 states, and all 50 have a different, and most of the carnage is in Democratic-run states. Most of the carnage. So, this too will yet again, this won't work for Democrats. It's not going to be a, you notice too that they're trying desperately. They are trying so desperately to blame it on Trump, making up stories, and then the government's like, nah, it's not true. Notice, though, that when the government actually pushes back with a narrative that Democrats don't like, you never hear it reported. It's not reported now that, the actual Defense Intelligence Agency stated, we never gave that report. You never hear that. Because it's the U.S. government actually going against Democrats. And I waited so long this time. It's 45 minutes in. How about that Hillary Clinton for president call by yours truly, huh? Huh? How about it? It will be... I am literally the only person on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, and the only person in media, but the absolute only person on YouTube. The only person on YouTube. The only person on YouTube telling you that Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. So, Bucolic Buffalo, Hillary 2020. Yes. Bucolic Buffalo. Thank you, Bucolic Buffalo. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, Clinton's waiting. Clinton's waiting. She's going to be Clinton's not only going to be nominee, there's a chance, ladies and gentlemen, there's a chance that Clinton could become president. Now, I'm telling you, I think my prediction's been President Trump's going to be president. If you don't take it seriously, we'll lose the election. You have to, if you take it seriously, not a problem. Not a problem. But if you don't take it seriously, then the issue is she could become president. You have to vote President Trump. You have to tell everybody you know to vote President Trump. But that's the issue. The issue, ladies and gentlemen, is you need to vote President Trump and tell people to vote President. Roman Oaks. I can't see any use to the Democratic Party at this point. They have absolutely nothing to offer America. That's true, Roman. That's true, but there are about 65 million people who will consistently always vote Democrat, or I should say, at least 60 million. At least 60 million. Around 60 million. It's true. I agree with you. Unfortunately, though, they see the world in a different way. They see reality in a different way because they just... Whatever... The media is an extension of the Democratic Party, without a doubt. Otherwise, they wouldn't have pushed. They never said, Comey, without basis, pushed a dossier. They say, oh, well, this is raw intelligence. Roman, thank you. Bucolic Buffalo. You saying Hillary would run is... what got me watching your channel, because I agree. Thank you, Bucolic Buffalo. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to happen. You and I, and we'll all be geniuses. It's going to happen. Warren, Herrick, Clinton, Warren. Bucolic Buffalo. What do you think, Clinton, Warren? Warren, Herrick. I think that Elizabeth Warren could be one of the people. I really, really do. I really think that. I don't know who. I am not going. I am not going to say. I don't know. I don't know who Clinton's. I don't know who Clinton's. I don't know who Clinton's vice president will be. What I do know is that it could very well be Warren, because Warren took one for the team. It could be. There's a chance it could be Klobuchar. There's a chance it could be Kamala Harris. It'll be a woman. There's a chance it could be Stacey Abrams. I think Warren would probably be the front runner for vice president. So I do think that. I don't know. I don't know. It really at this point it doesn't matter. It could be Klobuchar, which would be the most boring vice president pick of all time. Tim Kaine is like, the most interesting man in the world compared to Amy Klobuchar. But I don't know. Oh my God! If it was AOC, that'd be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. Could be Cuomo, although I don't think that would be the case, because he's too. When you just do a little bit of research, that March 1st tweet would just haunt him. So, Bucolic Buffalo, thank you as always. Warren, I don't know. Warren Herrick, I don't know. Clinton Warren, could be. Elizabeth Warren did so much for the. She single-handedly, and President Trump was so right, she single-handedly initially tanked Bernie's campaign, because what she did was genius. It was insidious. She was able to take, so in the beginning, you had Elizabeth Warren was basically friends with Bernie Sanders, similar to Bernie Sanders. They both wanted Medicare for all and a Green New Deal, and okay. So without Elizabeth Warren there, almost all her voters would have gone to Bernie Sanders, because there was something about Bernie they liked, but perhaps he was just a little bit too extreme, so they picked Warren. Without Warren, he probably would have run away with not only Iowa and New Hampshire, but he would have run away with Nevada. He would have done well in South Carolina, because even though his policies didn't resonate with voters in the South, with black voters, a big part of the reason he didn't resonate was because he was not viewed as electable. Had he won 3 states without Warren splitting his vote, he would have then been seen as electable, inevitable, and far superior to Biden. Now, maybe I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that. But Warren, what she did was basically cut Bernie's movement in two. Then, when she siphoned off enough of Bernie's movement to actually be viable herself, when the primary kept going and going and going, she then said, well, you said a woman couldn't win. He was obviously referring to Clinton, and he wasn't referring to all women. So then what took place was, of the voters that she siphoned from Bernie Sanders, she then ensured that they would never go back by accusing Bernie Sanders of saying something he never said. Bernie's done a lot of really cowardly things, fomenting the Trump-Russia myth, ignoring the $200 million that was stolen from his voters, and not acknowledging that he was cheated. But he never said that a woman couldn't win. Elizabeth Warren, along with her DNA test that she failed, made that one up also. But at that point, it was too late. At that point, it was too late. She had already done her job. She had irrevocably altered the voting base squarely against Bernie Sanders. And then when she endorsed Biden, all her voters went to Biden. Most of her voters went to Biden. So it was pretty insidious, but brilliant in its treachery, just like Clinton is. You know, just like Clinton is. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And, you know, it is amazing when you look at it's amazing when you look at how they were able to you look at how they're able to manipulate their own voting base. It's pretty unbelievable. Really unbelievable. So, but I mean, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. They have not. This is like a really. I don't know if you've been in a really bad relationship, but it's like a really bad relationship that people don't want to get out of. They just don't want to get out of it. And they can't get out of it because that's the only thing they know. So they just go back for more. You ever hear stories like, how many times has somebody told you, I'm in this relationship, I can't stand her, I can't stand him. Okay, well then you're not leaving. So you're just going to go back for more. Why are you even complaining? At a certain point, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you can't stand the person, that person's not the problem, you're the problem. Because you're not leaving. So it's actually, the Democratic Party is not the problem. The voters are the problem. They continue to vote for Democrats. And a lot of, there are maybe 60 to 70% of Democratic voters are just fine. They don't care Bernie was cheated. They don't care about never-ending military conflict. They don't care about the duplicity when it comes to any social movement, any value system. You know, President Obama presided over the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production. Then they cry about climate change. They don't care about the duplicity. They're just fine. Because the average Democrat is a very socially liberal Republican that has one obsession. So it could be climate change, it could be something. They're obsessed over one issue, and then there's about three or four, but probably about two or three, hallmarks of the Democratic Party that they lean towards. But everything else, they're a more liberal Republican. Well, climate change is important, but come on, you do need fossil fuels. Yeah, that's pretty much President Trump's viewpoint. Well, no, it's not. It's, he took us out of the Paris climate treaty. Romney would have done that too. Their whole thing is Trump said that he is different from other Republicans. Yeah, that's why he won. But when you're in the Oval Office, you preside over the largest expansion of domestic oil and gas production. So you're okay with it. And get ready for Hillary Clinton on Howard Stern a lot. I think that she goes on Howard Stern again as a presidential candidate. I do. That was a genius move by Hillary Clinton. That was a genius move. Yes, the evidence right here is the following. This is a Fox News article. Here's the Fox News article, and this is the actual report from, okay, there you go. Hold on one second. This is the actual statement from the Defense Intelligence Agency. Where is it? Right here. Quote, as a matter of practice, this is from Colonel Shane Day. It's not just on Fox. You can look at it anywhere. Director of the National Center for Medical Intelligence, a component of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Quote, and here's the government refuting the absurd notion that Trump, as he's getting impeached, knew, but he just kept it. As a matter of practice, the National Center for Medical Intelligence does not comment publicly on specified intelligence matters. However, in the interest of transparency during this public health crisis, we can confirm that media reporting that existence or release of a National Center for Medical Intelligence related Proctor assessment in November of 2019 is not correct. No such NCMI product exists. Wah, wah, wah. There you go. That is a statement from the United States government. Pentagon denies, Washington Examiner, Pentagon denies existence of November intelligence report. National Review, Pentagon. So don't you notice that you're not getting any of this statement from any other, like CBS, ABC? They're not even acknowledging it. They're just like, oh, what's our sources say? Because they don't have to say, we were wrong. They can say, well, that was just one person who actually is part of the United States government, which actually that is refuted by the government. There you go. Defense official says media reports about November. If this was true, they would have said, well, there was a report, but So there you go. You have the United States government saying one thing, and media and Democrats saying another, which is usually the case. Usually the case. But, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have this channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel. We're going to have one of the most amazing live streams. I'll do a live stream on my other channel too. We'll have 2 days, 3 days of just the most amazing live streams and uploads. I mean, we're looking at when Clinton becomes nominee. So in August, it's going to be one of the most exciting times, not just for this channel, but for the country. Because we'll finally be able to deal with the reality of who we are. We are a country that has a political machine. That they had 8 years of President Obama, and they thought that they would control and decide the course of American society and foreign policy and domestic policy and the consciousness. They thought they had the consciousness of this paradigm that they live in, but it was completely and utterly rejected because people don't think that they stand for what they claim to stand for. The Daily Mail, medical intelligence chief denies there was a memo warning in November. National Review, Pentagon completely denies U.S. intelligence report of intelligence warning in November. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I will have a segment. Thank you for watching and for asking. Thank you. Jimbo, Trump gonna come out for yeah, loaded for the biggest creature you could think of. Jimbo, thank you so very much, Jimbo. Greatly appreciated, as always. The good thing about Trump, Jimbo and everybody here, the good thing about Trump is that when you mess with him, he's coming. He's going after you with everything he has. He's going after you with everything he has. It's pretty unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel in about 15 minutes or so. I'll have a segment up. You are all wonderful, everybody. Everybody here, everybody watching is wonderful. God bless you all. Have a great evening. Thank you all for watching. And Jimbo, thank you again. To my super chat, thank you. I'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Check out the segment. Probably be about 8 p.m. Eastern. Check out the segment, 8 p.m. Eastern, people. Thanks, everybody. God bless. See you soon.